Hi everyone. I'm Mumu from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make the rose pen from a Flowerpot pen holder. This decoration is divided into several parts: the Flowerpot, the floral foam, the pen cover, flowers and decorations. The Flowerpot is crocheted in rounds on an acrylic board, and requires switching colors during the process. After completing it, add a leather label. Several crochet stitches will be applied. All are marked on the chart, so I won't list them one by one here. Please watch my demonstration of the specific crochet method. Start with the first round. It's crocheted into the chain space of the acrylic board. There is a protective film on both sides of the acrylic board. Remove the protective film before crocheting. You can use a thin needle from home to help. Just remove the other side in the same way. Here, for easier watching, I won't remove it from the swatch. Face any side of the acrylic board toward yourself. Take out the corresponding yarn. The swatch colors are random for specific yarn, color scheme and hook size. Please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Place the yarn on the acrylic board. Leave a little yarn tail behind any hole. Reserve a little yarn tail. Join the yarn. Pull the loop to the same height as the edge of the acrylic board, level with the edge. First, work one chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. It doesn't count as one stitch. Then work 3 single crochets into each hole. Mindful to pull the loops and align them with the edges. Weave in the yarn tails together. Finally, work one slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch to finish. The joining slip stitch at the end doesn't count as one stitch. Need to tighten it up? This completes round 1. Yarn tails that are not yet woven in can be trimmed off. Continue with round 2. First, make one chain stitch to start. When crocheting in rounds, starting with a single crochet, you always need to make one chain stitch to begin. I won't repeat this reminder in the following steps. Start from the slip stitch insertion position of the previous round. Pick up stitches one by one and work single crochets. Work through this entire round. Finish with a slip stitch at the end. Round 2 is now complete. Now move on to round 3. First, work one single crochet. For the next stitch, pick up the back loop only and crochet. Take a look. Each stitch has 2 strands of yarn. The strand closer to you is the front loop, and the other one is the back loop. Insert the hook into the back loop to work a single crochet. Then normally pick up stitches and make 2 single crochets. For the next stitch, work a single crochet in the back loop. After that, follow this pattern. Pick up a stitch and make 2 single crochets, then work a single crochet in the back loop only for each round. Finish the round with a slip stitch at the end. The fabric naturally curls here. Turn the right side out, which is the side with the bumpy texture showing round after round. The front side will have these little line segments sticking out. The third round is complete. For rounds 4 through 7 that follow, continue using the same crochet method as round 2. Pick up each stitch and work 1 single crochet per stitch. Don't forget the beginning chain and slip stitch. Mind your tension while crocheting. Keep the fabric from flaring out or pulling in. Work at a right angle to the acrylic board. When counting rounds, follow the bumpy texture on the right side, round by round. Each raised bump represents 1 round. Don't miss the round on the acrylic board. Please refer to the chart and complete it accordingly. After completing round 7, slightly enlarge the loop. Pause your crocheting. Now I'll demonstrate round 8. Take the corresponding yarn. Locate the second stitch of round 2, which is on the left side of the slip stitch mark. On the remaining front loop, join the yarn. Make 3 beginning chains as a turning chain. Then work 1 double crochet into the remaining half stitch on the left. Chain 2. Next, make 1 double crochet decrease, or DC2 tog for short. Start with 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over, insert into the same insertion position as before. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. First stitch completed. Continue with the second stitch. Yarn over, insert into the remaining half stitch on the left. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Second stitch completed. Finally, yarn over and draw through in once. Double crochet decrease completed. Continue with 2 chain stitches. 1 double crochet decrease. First, at the previous insertion position, and the remaining half stitch on the left side, work 1 incomplete double crochet in each respectively. Finally, yarn over and draw through in once. Double crochet decrease completed. This round is worked by correspondingly making double crochet decreases like this, with 2 chain stitches as transition between. The double crochet decrease is worked at the same insertion position as the adjacent one. Pay attention to keep the fabric as flat as possible after finishing. Not too tight or too loose. Continue to finish this round. For the last double crochet decrease, insert the hook at the joining position for the second stitch. Finally, crochet 2 chain stitches, and slip stitch into the first double crochet stitch of the round. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure, enlarge the loop, leave a tail about 5 cm long, and cut it off. This completes round 8. Now move on to round 9. Join the yarn in the chain space on the right side of the yarn tail from the previous round. First, crochet a special DC4 bobble stitch. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Work 3 incomplete double crochets in the same position. Pull through all the loops along with the yarn tail. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. One special DC4 bobble stitch is done. Then crochet 2 chain stitches. Work a DC4 bobble stitch in the chain space on the left side. First, make 4 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The DC bobble stitch is done. We'll simply call it a bobble stitch from now on. Continue with 2 chain stitches. This round is worked by matching each bobble stitch into the chain space of the previous round, with 2 chain stitches as a bridge in between. Work this entire round following the same method. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the starting stitch, and fasten off the yarn. The stitch is located at the top right corner of the bobble stitch. After completion, round 9 will be roughly level with round 7. That's how round 9 is done. Next, we'll crochet round 10. Find the loops of round 7. Continue crocheting. This round needs to be worked by joining round 9 and round 7 together. First, make a beginning chain. Then tidy up round 9 properly. Insert into the chain space on the right side of the yarn tail, and the first stitch of round 7 behind it. Make 1 single crochet, then insert into the first bobble stitch, and the corresponding second stitch behind it. Make 1 single crochet. Next, insert into the left chain space. At the same time, go through the 2 stitches on the left side of round 7. Make 2 single crochets correspondingly. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting single crochets. The bobble stitch position is at the top right corner here. Don't make it in the wrong position. After finishing the fourth bobble stitch position, you need to make a single crochet increase on the left side, which means inserting into the same position and making 2 single crochets. Single crochet increase completed. Continue with 1 single crochet. Complete this chain space position. Then follow this method. Refer to the chart and complete this round. Pay attention not to miss any increase positions. Finally, in the starting chain space, work 1 single crochet increase. You can check the stitch count now. Join with a slip stitch to finish. Round 10 is completed. For rounds 11 to 21, continue crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. Pay attention to increasing stitches at the corresponding rounds. Simply pick up the corresponding stitches from the previous round and crochet. Work into the corresponding stitches of the round. Simply pick up the corresponding stitches from the previous round and crochet. Everyone, refer to the chart and complete it. Now work on round 22. Starting from this round, you need to crochet on the wrong side. First, make a turning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Start from the last stitch of the previous round. Correspondingly make single crochets. Mindful that when on the wrong side, the stitch is at the upper left. The last single crochet goes into the slip stitch position from the previous round. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 22 is done. Next is round 23. Continue crocheting on the wrong side. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 23 is completed. Now work on round 24. This round, pick up the back loops and work single crochets. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 24 is completed. Next is round 25. Following the same technique as round 24, pick up the back loops and crochet accordingly. For the remaining rounds, pick up each stitch and work correspondingly. Please refer to the chart and complete accordingly. In the final round, don't pull tight when making the slip stitches. Stretch the loop large. Leave a yarn tail of 10 centimeters, then cut the yarn and finish off. Insert from the left stitch of the slip stitch insertion position. Then go back into the chain where the yarn tail is. Adjust it a bit. This way, the finishing won't show any slip stitch marks. Weave the yarn tail into the backside texture of the single crochet. Then flip the last few rounds to the right side. These 2 rounds with horizontal bar texture should be on top. That's all for the explanation of crocheting the flower pot. Next, sew on the leather label to the outside of the flower pot. Cut a piece of yarn used for crocheting the flower pot. Take 2 strands and thread them through the yarn needle. Tie a knot at the end of the yarn tail. Place the leather label in position on the opposite side of the slip stitch seam of the flower pot. Sew the leather label between rounds 13 to 16. Pay attention to the direction of the text. Thread through the reserved loops. After finishing one side, carry the yarn across to the other side. Finally, tie a knot and weave in the ends neatly. This way the leather label is done. The flower pot is also completed. Next, let's learn about the floral foam. Start with a magic ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. After completing, stuff it and sew inside the flower pot. Before crocheting, let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The column labeled increase, and decrease explanation shows how to crochet that particular round, the stitch techniques needed, and the increase-decrease situations. The column labeled Total Stitches shows the total number of stitches after completing all the stitches in that round. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The chart starts with a magic ring, which means to use a magic ring for casting on. First, make an adjustable magic ring. The casting on is now complete. Now crochet round 1. R1 stands for 6 single crochets. The number before the stitch abbreviation indicates how many stitches of that type to crochet. Here it means to work 6 single crochets into the magic ring loop. Start with 1 turning chain stitch as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This initial turning chain is not marked in the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, you always start by making a turning chain. The beginning chain for single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Next, into the magic ring loop, work 6 single crochets. After completing this round, check the stitch count. The total number of stitches for each round is clearly marked in the chart. We won't repeat this reminder later on. Now close the magic ring. Simply pull the yarn tail tight. Tighten the center of the piece. The magic ring is now closed. Next, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Work 1 slip stitch. If you're having trouble identifying where to stitch, you can count the stitches from back to front. It's this braid. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. Make sure to pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. When crocheting in rounds, you always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. That completes round 1. Next, crochet round 2. R2 is 6V. The number before the V indicates how many consecutive single crochet increases to work. Here it means 6 consecutive single crochet increases. Start with 1 chain stitch as your beginning chain. Let me emphasize again, when crocheting in rounds, you always start with a beginning chain. This won't be repeated in the following instructions. Pick up the stitch and work a single crochet increase accordingly. You can tighten the starting yarn tail together at this point. Finish by joining with a slip stitch. Pay attention. After completing each round, always join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Trim off any remaining yarn tails. Round 2 is now complete. Continue to crochet round 3. R3 is 3 single crochets, 1 single crochet increase, times 3. The parentheses here indicate a group. Times number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. First, work 3 single crochets. Then work 1 single crochet increase. Let me demonstrate again. First, work 3 single crochets. Then work 1 single crochet increase. This is the second time. Continue and do it once more. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 3 is now complete. Take a look if you'd like. The right side of the fabric has a clear texture. The wrong side has a blurry texture. Keep the right side facing you as you continue crocheting. Now move on to round 4. Just work single crochets correspondingly. The fabric will naturally curl after completing. Place the wrong side to the outside. From round 5 to round 18, crochet with the wrong side facing outward. Refer to the chart and complete accordingly. Round 19 requires picking the back loops for crocheting. The fabric will form a shape like this after completing. Continue referring to the chart from now on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Keep the right side facing you all the time. Leave a yarn tail of about 1.2 meters long for sewing after completing. That's all for the explanation of crocheting the floral foam. Finally, stuff and sew it together. Take the waiting beads and place them on both sides inside the flower pot. Pay attention not to open the packaging bag, so the beads won't spill through the holes in the acrylic plate. Then add fiberfill to fill the gaps. You can use a pen to push the filling into the middle of the floral foam while stuffing. Make sure the groove stays vertical. The stuffing should be firm and even. Make sure the flower pot doesn't get deformed. For the final round of the floral foam, sew it to the stitch position of the Flowerpot's 22nd round. This is the indentation right below the inner horizontal line. Stuff it until the top of the floral foam slightly bulges. Now proceed with sewing. Match up the slip stitch marks. Pick up the last round stitches of the floral foam. And sew them to the corresponding stitch positions at the indentation. You can turn over the edge of the flower pot here. Creating this effect on the outside. When there's just a little distance left, if there are any spots where the stuffing isn't quite right, adjust and add more as needed. Try to make the top bulge as evenly as possible. Once all the sewing is done, weave in the yarn tails. Tidy up the flower pot. That's how you finish the floral foam. Next, let's learn how to make the pen cover. Start with the magic ring method, then crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The technique is similar to how we started the floral foam, but after completing the third round, flip the textured right side outward. Then work even without increasing or decreasing. As you crochet, you can test it with the pen. The pen should fit perfectly into the fabric. Make sure it's not too tight or too loose. If it doesn't fit properly, you'll need to adjust your tension based on the actual situation, and recrochet accordingly. Switching colors is also needed during the crochet process for the pen case. Here, I'll demonstrate using a swatch. Simply break the yarn. Then take another strand and insert it into the slip stitch position to join. Continue crocheting. Weave in the yarn tails together at the same time. Then keep crocheting downward as usual. The number of rounds for the pen case is just a reference. Feel free to try as you crochet, and fit it as you go. You can stop once you reach the edge of the pen cap. Once completed, break the yarn and finish off. The finishing method is the same as the last one used for the flower pot. Finally, tuck the yarn tails inside. Go ahead and complete it. Everyone, take a look. Next, we'll secure the pen case to the pen. Here, I'll demonstrate using a swatch. The color scheme for the pen case is not a reference. Put the pen case on properly. And slide it down slightly a little bit. Apply glue here. Then put the pen case back on. Wipe off any excess glue. Make sure to adjust it well, connecting it with the pen cap. Let the glue dry completely. Then attach the pen cap to the center groove of the floral foam. Here, apply a bit of glue on the top of the pen cap. Carefully insert it into the bottom. You can place the pen here. Note that it must be inserted all the way to the bottom. Once the glue has dried, test it by inserting and removing the pen. Make sure it is securely fixed. That's all for the pen case explanation. Next, Let's move on to the flower. It consists of the first layer of petals, and the second and third layers of petals, the fourth layer of petals and the calyx. First, crochet each part separately and then assemble them together. Start with the first layer of petals, a total of 3 pieces. We will start using the foundation chain method. Work back and forth along the foundation chain. The new stitch technique used here is the half double crochet, DC 3-in-1 and DC 2-in-1. Please watch my demonstration for the specific crocheting method. Begin with a chain stitch. Start by making a slip knot. Then crochet 3 chain stitches. Next, turn around and start from the second stitch from the end. Pick up the front loop of the chain, and work 2 slip stitches correspondingly. The oval-shaped slip stitch does not need to be tightened. The foundation chain is now completed. Now we'll crochet the first row. Begin with 1 chain stitch as the beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Then pick up the braid of the slip stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Insert the hook from the left side, around the middle position. Crochet 3 single crochets. On the other side, pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain and work 1 single crochet. The first row is now completed. Next, we'll crochet the second row. Start with 1 chain stitch as the beginning chain. Turn the work over, pick up the stitch and crochet the corresponding stitch pattern. You can weave in the yarn tails at the same time. The second row is completed. Cut off the remaining yarn tails. Now for the third row in the back. Continue by turning the work and following the chart. After that, crochet the fourth row. Start with 1 chain stitch as the beginning chain. Turn the work over, work 2 single crochets first. Then crochet 2 half double crochets. Followed by 1 double crochet. 1 double crochet, then DC 3-in-1, which means crocheting 3 double crochets into the same stitch. The DC 3-in-1 is completed. Continue crocheting the corresponding stitch pattern. The fourth row is completed. Finally, crochet the fifth row. Start by making a beginning chain. Turn the work over, pick up the stitch and work 2 single crochets. Followed by 1 half double crochet. Next, pick up the left stitch. Work 1 half double crochet and 1 double crochet. Continue with a DC 2-in-1 in the next stitch, which means crocheting 2 double crochets into the same stitch. The DC 2-in-1 is completed. Continue with 4 DC 2-in-1s correspondingly. On the left stitch, work 1 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet. Next, work 1/2 double crochet correspondingly, followed by 2 single crochets. Finally, leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. We'll take the last row with the clearer texture as the right side. Tuck away the yarn tail on the wrong side. One petal is now completed. The other petals of the first layer can be crocheted in the same way. Next, let's learn how to crochet the second and third layers. These 2 layers are crocheted using the same technique, only the colors are different. The first 6 rows are similar to the first layer petals. Just follow the chart to complete them. A new stitch technique will be used in the last row, chain 1 picket. Here, I'll demonstrate this stitch with a swatch. First, crochet to the corresponding position following the chart. I've already completed this double crochet increase. Next, work 2 double crochets in the middle stitch. Then make a chain 1 picket. First, chain 1. Then insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch and the strand below. Work 1 slip stitch. Gently tighten it. This completes the chain 1 picket. Continue by working 1 double crochet in the same insertion position below. Then keep crocheting this row following the chart. Finally, cut the yarn. We'll also use the clearer texture side of the last row as the right side. Weave in the yarn tails. That concludes the explanation for crocheting the second and third layers of petals. Everyone, please complete it. Next is the fourth layer of petals. The crochet method is similar to previous petals. After completing the middle double crochet on the last row, work 1 chain 1 picket. The techniques have been demonstrated earlier. Everyone, follow the chart to complete the fourth layer of petals. Hide the yarn tails on the wrong side. This concludes the explanation for crocheting the petals. Next we'll learn how to make the calyx. Start with a chain ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitches used are treble crochet and triple crochet. Please watch my demonstration of the specific crocheting method. First, start with a chain ring. Begin by making a knot. Then work 12 chain stitches. Next, fold it in half. Position it with the braid-like texture facing you. Pick up the half loop of the first chain stitch from the outside. Pull tight. The cast on is now complete. Next, work the first round. First, make 1 single crochet at the slip stitch position. Tighten the yarn tail together. Then pick up the half loop above the left chain, and make 1 single crochet increase. Repeat the technique for these 2 stitches. Work all the way around. Finally, join with a slip stitch to finish. The first round is complete. You can place it over a pen tip to help shape it. Try to keep it close together. If it doesn't fit, adjust your tension and recrochet. For the following rounds 2 to 3, simply crochet in rounds following the chart. Everyone complete this part. Note that at the end of round 3, don't pull the slip stitch too tight. Next, work the final round. First, chain 8 stitches. Start from the second to last stitch. Pick up the half loop above and make 1 slip stitch accordingly. 1 single crochet. 1 half double crochet. 1 double crochet. 1 treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Treble crochet is complete. Continue with 1 triple crochet. Yarn over 3 times. Insert. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 4 times. Triple crochet is complete. Work 1 more triple crochet. Yarn over 3 times. Insert. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 4 times. Triple crochet is complete. Skip the next 4 stitches. This stitch where you slip stitch doesn't count. Correspondingly, work 2 slip stitches. We'll treat the stitches we've already crocheted as one group. Continue and work another group. First, chain 8. Begin crocheting the corresponding stitches from the second stitch from your hook. After completing, skip 4 stitches. Correspondingly, work 2 slip stitches. The second group is complete. Continue crocheting the remaining groups. At the end of the last group, work 1 slip stitch. Stretch the loop, leave a 10 cm yarn tail and fasten off. Pass through from underneath the slip stitch braid on the left side. Tuck in the yarn tail on the blurry textured wrong side. This completes the calyx. Finally, assemble the flowers together. Take the first layer of petals. With the right side facing out, the edge is at the bottom. Wrap around the front 4 rounds of the pen cover. The petals extend about 1.5 cm beyond the top. The edge corresponds to the stitch position of the 4th round. Here, the 3 petals are staggered. The right side of the petal is pressed underneath. Once the position is confirmed to fit properly, secure with glue. Apply glue only to the lower part. Use pins to secure the surface temporarily. Once the petals are staggered and secured, let the glue dry, then remove the pins from the surface. Next, take the 3 petals of the second layer. Arrange them evenly in the same staggered way. Mind that the tops of the petals are as level as possible. The last row of each petal should have a clear textured right side facing out. The picket stitch position should roughly match the seam of the petals. Continue drying to set the shape. After it's dry, check. There is a gap at the base of the petals. Apply glue and fold inward to secure. Press firmly. Glue securely. Continue attaching the third layer of petals, 5 in total. Attach them in the same way. You can position them first. Make sure the top is level. Try to stagger the 2 layers of petals. You can decide the arrangement based on your preference. Once the position fits properly, attach securely in the same way. Fold the bottom side inward and glue as well. Complete this step. Look. This is what it looks like after attaching the third layer of petals. Finally, secure the fourth layer of petals. When securing this layer of petals, secure the part below at the same time. Try to cover the color change location. Once the position fits properly, attach and secure the details. When gluing the bottom part, try to keep the base flat. To create a flat effect like this, complete the securing process. Once the final layer is securely fixed, take the calyx. Place the wrong side against the base of the petals. Match the tip of the final round with the seam of the petal. Roughly align them before proceeding. Attach and secure it in place. Mind that the tip curls naturally. You can also use pins to shape it. Press the base flat. This completes the flower assembly. Finally, make decorations, including large and small pom-poms, daisy flowers, acrylic flowers, butterflies and memo clips. Please watch my demonstration for the detailed making method. Start by making the large and small pom-poms, 1 large pom-pom, and 4 small ones. You can refer to the color scheme in the chart, or adjust according to your preference. Here, I'll demonstrate how to make the pom-pom. First, take out the loop of the yarn ball. Flatten it and fold it into thirds horizontally. Take a piece of yarn in the same color as the pom-pom. Fold it in half and place it inside. Then, use one strand of yarn to wrap around the loop. The exact number of wraps can be found in the chart. Once done, cut the yarn. Tie a knot with the inner thread. Then remove it. Pull the yarn tight. Cut through the loops. Tidy it up a bit. Trim it into a ball shape according to the chart size. Here's the exact diameter for the pom-pom. You can also adjust it based on your preference, or compare it with your actual project to make adjustments. Once roughly trimmed, use a sewing needle to spread out the threads. This will make it fluffier. Finally, trim it to perfection. Trim the yarn tails from the knots short. Spread them out the same way. And that's how you make a pom-pom. Make the rest of the pom-poms using the same method. Finally, arrange all the pom-poms on top of the floral foam according to your actual project. Wrap it around the pen barrel once. Larger pom-poms can be placed at the left side of the leather label. The exact arrangement here can also be adjusted according to your preference. When attaching, take the side of the pom-pom where the knot is located, and glue it onto the corresponding position on the floral foam. That's all for arranging the small and large pom-poms. Finally, attach the daisy flowers. acrylic flowers, and butterflies onto the pom-poms. Refer to the finished product for specific placement. Try to attach them on the side where the leather label is located. Everyone can also decide based on their own preference, mindful that the butterfly wings can be folded slightly, making them more three-dimensional. The daisy flowers have a right and wrong side that needs to be distinguished. Finally, insert the memo clip into the floral foam. If you are sure the position won't change, apply glue to the pointed end of the memo clip before inserting it. Then insert it into the corresponding position. Wait for the glue to dry completely. Everyone can make choices according to their own preference. This completes the decoration. Up to this point, the entire ornament has been explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.